Alrighty, guys. I'm not sure why it's not showing my face in the corner this time, but must be something's going on with my recording program. But anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed listening to that book. I think it's a great book that does a really good job of telling about Martin Luther King Jr.'s life, but I think also explaining a little bit more about not just like facts and dates and stuff like that, but also talking about why he did what he did, why he was so passionate about the things that he did and the marches that he led and the speeches that he gave. And if you were paying attention, you might have noticed one of his most famous speeches in there was his I Have a Dream speech. And that speech is about his dreams for the future and what he wanted the future of America to look like. And so today we're talking about dreams and not about dreams that you have when you're asleep. Dreams like Martin Luther King had. So his ideas for the future, what he wanted the future to look like for him, for his kids, and for the future generations as well. And so for him, his dream was to see his children being treated equally as other children. He wanted to see boys and girls going to school together and playing together and eating together and riding the bus together. And not being treated differently just because their skin was a different color. And that was his dream. And so today I want you guys to think about what your dream is. I know here at Grant, every Tuesday we talk about goals. And goals are kind of like dreams, right? We set ideas for the future, things that we would like to achieve, things that we'd like to see happen. And that's kind of like dreams. And so I want you guys to think about what dreams you have for the future. And so I sat here and thought about that for a little bit too. And as you guys know, I'm a teacher, which means that I love kids because teachers aren't teachers if they don't like kids, right? It doesn't really work. So I think a lot about you guys and I think about your future and how school impacts your future. And so a lot of my dreams and a lot of my goals are for you guys. And my dreams are for kids to be kind and show kindness to each other and be treated with kindness. One thing, for those of you guys who had me as a teacher last year, you know that one of my biggest rules in my classroom is to treat yourself and other people with kindness. So that means you don't put down your own work and you don't put down anyone else's. And that is a goal of mine that I won't hear students, saying that, oh, I'm terrible at this, I'm awful at this, I can't do this, or saying those kind of negative things to each other. My goal is that people will treat themselves and each other with kindness. And, forgiving ourselves and forgiving others because we're not perfect people. We make mistakes. I know I do. And so I think treating people with fairness and with kindness and understanding is a goal of mine. It's a dream of mine that I would like to see here at school and in my classroom. And so I want you guys to think about yours. What would your dreams be? And then my challenge to your art project today is to draw that. And I know that sounds kind of tricky, right? Because if I were to draw kindness, how do you draw kindness? How do you draw love? How do you draw acceptance, right? But for me, I thought about that, like, okay, well, what would I draw if I were to draw my dream? So what I thought is I would draw a student complimenting another student, right? Maybe two students drawing in my art room and another one is pointing at a spot on someone else's artwork and complimenting them, right? Or I could draw a picture of somebody that like fell down and dropped their colored pencils and somebody else is bent over helping them pick them up. So think about how you can draw what your dream is. So first you have to think of your dream. Second, you have to think about how you're going to draw it right? And then the third part is I want you guys to think about how you are going to set about achieving that dream. How, just like Martin Luther King, like he was like, yeah, I want my kids to be able to play with white kids. I want them to go to the same schools and ride the same buses. But he didn't just sit at home and go, man, that'd be nice. He went out and he made it happen. So how can we make it happen? And for me as an art teacher, if I want to see people treat each other with kindness and respect, I teach them how, right? By treating you with kindness and respect, by treating my fellow teachers with kindness and respect, and by stopping students when they're not showing kindness and respect to each other, right? When I hear another student put down their artwork or put down someone else, and I stop them and I explain to them that we don't do that and that's not kind. So that would be how I am trying to achieve my dream. Okay, so those are your 3 things. First, think of your dream, draw it, and then think about what you can do to achieve that dream. And then on January 18th, remember Martin Luther King Jr., remember your dream, and I hope your dream comes true. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.